What's up guys, welcome back. So it has been almost 6 months since I am making the video on the YouTube, and I changed a lot from the time when I first upload the video on the YouTube to now. Like the background has been changed, the quality of the video has been improved, the content of the video has been improved, my hair has grown up a little bit, and also last but not least, I became smarter. But the one thing that hasn't changed from then is you. You guys right out there who are watching the video right now, those guys who subscribe my channel on the very first video and continue to watch my video on every single Saturday or the Sunday. So I wanted to say thank you for subscribing the channel and keep watching. Over the period of 6 months, I received a lot of queries from a lot of people. Some queries were really good, but some really sucks. So what we're gonna do is to start a new series which will be called the Random Practical Question or RPQs, where all those queries would be answered in terms of a video, because that query could also be your query. And if you want to contribute to this kind of a video in the future, all you need to do is just open up your computer and ask the query on the email ID sharwangst.148@gmail.com, sharwangst.148@gmail.com. All the questions which are being answered in this video is also given down in the description. So if you want to check out the question before watching the video, then you can check out the description, and if you find it relevant to you, then you can check out the video, and if you don't find it relevant to you, then you can flip the video out. Alright guys, so this is our very first video of the RPQ series. So without any delay, let's start. So this is our very first question of the RPQ series, and it is regarding the registration under GST. And the question is, do we have to make separate application under CGST, SGST and IGST Act for registration? So the person want to know that whether we need to make application under GST for 3 different acts, which is CGST Act, SGST Act and IGST Act. So the answer is no. You have to only make the application for registration under CGST Act in term of section 22 or 24. So you don't have to make application in 3 different acts. You have to only make one application under CGST Act in term of provision number 22 or the 24. In case you are making the intra-state supplies or supplies within the state, then you have to charge the CGST and SGST. And if you are dealing in interstate supply or supply outside the states, then you have to charge IGST. So suppose you are making intra-state supplies and the rate of tax in respect of supply of your goods or services is 12%. So you have to charge 6% CGST and 6% SGST. So this kind of a provision will apply for you. The 3 different act is for charging the tax rate. It's not that you have to make application under 3 different steps or 3 different acts. So if you are dealing in the intra-state supplies, then you have to charge CGST and SGST in the same proportion, in the same ratio. Like if you are in the 12% tax rate, then you have to charge 6% CGST and 6% SGST. But if you are dealing in interstate transaction, then you have to charge the IGST, which will be 12%. So the 3 different act is only for charging the tax. The application of registration would be under CGST Act, and you have to only make the application under one single act. The next question is relating to the registration if you have a lot of branches. And the question is, we have 3 branches in 3 different states, and the turnover of 3 branches is 8 lakh, 9 lakh and 7 lakh. Whether we have to add turnover of all the branches for checking out 20 lakh rupees registration limit, and under which states we need to register ourselves. So the person want to know that whether we have to add up all the turnover of 3 different states to check out the 20 lakh rupees threshold turnover limit, which is prescribed under section 22, and in which state we need to register ourselves. So suppose you have the you have 3 branches in Uttarakhand, Delhi and UP, and the turnover is like for Uttarakhand the turnover is 8 lakh, for Delhi branch the turnover is 9 lakh, and for turnover of Uttarakhand Uttar Pradesh branch the turnover is 7 lakh. So if you add up all the 3 different states turnover, the turnover would be totally 24 lakh rupees, which is exceeding the 20 lakh rupees threshold turnover limit which is prescribed under section 22. But the question is whether we have to add up all the turnover of the different branches to calculate, to check out the 20 lakh rupees threshold limit. So the answer is yes, you have to add up all the turnover of all the states in which you deal in for checking out the 20 lakh rupees turnover limit. And the second question is whether we have to register and in which state we have to register ourselves in case you have different branches. So if the total turnover of all the branches combined together exceeds 20 lakh rupees, then you have to make yourself registration in every single states from where you make the taxable supplies of goods or services, and that is provided under section 22 subsection 1. So you have to make yourself registration under every single states from where you supplies the taxable supplies of goods or services. So the first question is you have to add up all the turnover of all the branches for calculating the 20 lakh rupees turnover limit, and if that exceeds the 20 lakh rupees turnover limit, then you have to make yourself register in every single states from where you make the taxable supply of goods or services or both. And also one more important point here to note is that section 25 subsection 3 and section 25 subsection 4 provides that if you are the person who have different branches, then all the branches will be treated as the distinct person. So those 3 branches of one person will be treated as a distinct person, and if you are supplying any goods or services such like branch transfer or stock transfer, that will be treated as the supply to a distinct person, and you have to also charge the GST on that type of a transaction. So the stock transfer or branch transfer is taxable under GST if you are in the different states. But if you are in the single states and you have in the single state, you are in the single state and you have 3 or 4 branches in one single state, then the stock transfer or branch transfer will not be taxable under GST. But if there is a 2 branch which is in the different states, and if there is a movement of goods between those branches, then it will be treated as the supply to a distinct person, and you have to make the payment of taxes on those movement of goods or services, whatever. And if you want to know about the valuation, then the valuation in case of a stock transfer or branch transfer will be done as per rule number 2 of valuation rule and rule number 7 sub rule 6, rule number 6 sub rule 7. So you have to make valuation in term of rule number 2 of valuation rule and rule number 6 sub rule 7 of the valuation rule. So that how your transaction will be taxable under the GST in case you are registered in different branches, or if you are making the taxable supply in different states. The next question is relating to the input tax credit of the stocks appearing as on the date of immediately preceding the date of introduction of GST. And the question is whether we can use the input tax credit of the stocks lying as on 30th June 2017 without first clearing or selling it out. So the person want to know that whether we can take as well as use the input tax credit of the stocks without first clearing or selling it out. So the person has a doubt that whether we need to first selling or clearing out the stock before we can use or take the input tax credit of the stock appearing as on the date immediately preceding the date of introduction of GST. So the answer is yes, you can take as well as use the input tax credit of the stocks as on 30th June 2017 without clearing or selling out the stocks in term of provision number 140 of the CGST Act, which is relating to the transitional provision under GST, because there is nowhere written in section 140 as well as in the input tax credit rule which specifies that you need to first clear out the stock before you can use or take the input tax credit. So there is nowhere written that you have to first clear out the goods, you have to first clear out the stock before you can use the input tax credit in part of those stock. So without any clearing or without any selling out the stock, you can take as well as use the input tax credit of the stock lying as on 30th June 2017. But there is certain condition and restriction before you can take the input tax credit of the stock lie on the date immediately preceding the date of introduction of GST in term of transitional provisions section number 140. So there are a lot of requirements which you need to fulfill before you can take the input tax credit of the stock lie and as on 30th June 2017. So if you want to know more about the procedural aspect or the condition for availing the input tax credit of the stock, then check out my other video relating to the transitional provision under GST, where I have covered in detail about all the procedures and the restriction before you can utilize or before you can take the input tax credit in respect of the stock lying as on 30th June 2017. The next question is very interesting and it was the query of a lot of people. It is relating to the financial year under the registration provision and under the composition scheme. And the question is, what is the meaning of financial year for the purpose of registration and for the composition scheme? Whether it is to be counted from 1st July 2017 or from 1st April 2017. So we have learned under section 22 that we have to make yourself register under GST if your aggregate turnover in the financial year exceeds 20 lakh rupees. So aggregate turnover in a financial year. So now the question is, what is the financial year? And also under section 10, which is relating to the composition scheme, the composition scheme will be available to those person whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year doesn't exceed the 50 lakh rupees. So now the question is, what is the meaning of financial year? Whether it is to be counted from 1st July 2017, which is the date of application or introduction of GST, or it is to be counted from 1st April 2017, which is the date of opening of books of account. So the term financial year doesn't define under CGST Act. But if you look at the other provision under the CGST Act, we get to know that the financial year means the year from 1st April 2017. It is not to be counted from 1st July 2017, which is the likely date of introduction of GST. So we have to count it the financial year from 1st April 2017, not from the 1st July 2017. So for the purpose of registration, you have to add up the aggregate turnover from 1st April 2017, and for checking out the financial year, for checking out the aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year, you have to count it out the financial year from 1st April 2016, not from the 1st July 2016. You have to count it the financial year from 1st April 2016, which is the date when you open the books of accounts in your account. So you have to count the financial year from 1st April 2016 or the 2017. The next question is relating to the taxability of stock transfer in case the branches is situated outside the states. And the question is whether the stock transfer by a person is taxable under GST, and if yes, what will be the value of supply for charging GST. So the person want to know that whether there is a tax on the stock transfer between the branches which is situated in the different states, and if there is a taxability, if there is a tax leviable on the branch transfer, then how to value the goods under GST. So the answer to the first question, that whether there is a taxability for the branch transfer, the answer is yes, it is taxable under GST, because you know that under section 22 the person have to register in every single states from where he makes the taxable supply of goods or services. And in term of section number 25 subsection 3 and 25 subsection 4, the person who are situated in the different states will be treated as a distinct person. So it means that the person who are making taxable supplies from different states have to register under GST in every single states. And if you are registered in other states, if you are registered in the two different states, then in term of section number 25 subsection 3 and subsection 4, those person will be treated as a distinct person. So, and if those person will be treated as a distinct person, that means every supply of goods or services between those person will be treated as a supply to a different person, to a supply to a some other person. And also in term of schedule number 1, which deems certain activity to be supply of goods or services, section schedule 1 also tells that the supply of goods or services or both between the distinct person as mentioned under section 25 subsection 3 or 25 subsection 4 will be the supply of goods or services if it is made in the course of furtherance of businesses, even if it is without the consideration. So if there is a supply of goods or services between the distinct person, if there is a supply of goods or services between the distinct person and it is in the course of businesses, then that will be a supply of goods or services under GST, even if it is made without consideration. So suppose the two branches are just transferring the goods between themselves without even consideration, then also that will be taxable under GST. And the next question is, what will be the valuation? So suppose two branches are just stock transferring between them without any consideration. So what will be the value for charging GST? So the valuation is given under rule number 2 of valuation rule, and it says that if there is a stock transfer or if there is a supply of goods or services between distinct person or the related person, then the value of those supply of goods or services will be first open market value of such supply of goods or services. And if the open market value of such supply of goods or services is not known, then the valuation will be the supply of goods or services of like kind and quality. So whatever will be the supply of like kind and quality of the goods or services will be taken as a value for determining the valuation of goods or services if there is a transaction between the distinct person. And if we don't know the open market value of such supply of goods or services, or if there is a no such like kind and quality of the other goods, then we have to move on to rule number 4, which says that the value of supply of goods or services will be 110% of the cost of production or cost of manufacturing or the provision of service. So whatever will be the cost of production or the provision of service, whatever will be the cost, we have to take 110% as the value of supply of goods or services in case of a distinct person. And also rule number 6 sub rule 7 also talks about the valuation of services only. Valuation of services in case the service is provided between a distinct person, and it says the value will be deemed to be the nil. But there is also certain condition for rule number 6 sub rule 7. If you want to know about it, then you can ask me the query. So that's how the valuation will be done in case there is a transaction of supply of goods or services between a distinct person. And yes, the stock transfer or branch transfer is taxable under GST if the branches is situated in different states, because in the GST you have to register under every single states from where you make the taxable supplies. So if there is a two branch in different states, then they have to register under GST separately, and if they register under GST separately, then it means they will be treated as a distinct person. And if there is a branches within the states, there is a lot of branches like 4 or 5 branches within the states, then the stock transfer or branch transfer between those states will not be taxable under GST. So make that point into your mind. The stock transfer will only be taxable under GST if it is situated between different states. Then only we can tax, or then only there will be tax under GST if there is a stock transfer or branch transfer outside the states. Alright guys, so this is our last question, and it is not relating to the GST, it is the personal question. Someone wants to know that how do I record the video, where is the location where I record the video, or what are the equipments by way of which I record the video. So alright guys, just check out the photo of the room where I record the video. Just check out the room. So as you see in your room that this is a very messy kind of a room in which I have 2 or 3 equipment. The first one is the laptop, and then I have a tripod, on the top of which there is a phone from which I record the video. It's not a DSLR camera, it's just a simple phone, and the phone is Lenovo K3 Note. It helped me to record all the video I recorded by using the Lenovo K3 Note. And then I have a white ball which is just hanging around right here. So it is the microphone of Blue Snowball. It's the microphone from which I record the voice. And then I have, like, right here there's a lot of messy kind of a thing like onion, and then some kind of basket, and this thing like there is there. And also in right here there is a lot of books in the kind of shelves. So it's a kind of messy room where I record the video, and with the help of 2-3 equipment, laptop, tripod, then snowball, white snowball, blue microphone, and by way of camera, the phone, I record the video. So that's how I record the video, so that you guys watch the video and educate yourself with the GST. Alright guys, so thanks for watching the video, and as usual, subscribe my channel, like the video and share the video like I said before. And also there will be more random practical question or RPQ in this very channel, so make sure that you subscribe the channel. And also you can ask the query by sending an email to sharwangst.148@gmail.com, sharwangst.148@gmail.com. It might be a case that your query can be answered in this video, so make sure that you ask the query. And also one more point here is that please ask the query by clearly drafting the mail, because sometimes the people just ask by way of don't complete or completely draft the sentence. So please, before asking the query, make the clear and complete sentence so that I can get the idea from what you want to ask to me. Alright guys, so we will meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye.